This is WKYT News at 5:30.
A warning after a fire grew out of control when a Lexington business tried to dispose of cardboard in an open burn. The fire spread to a barn, mobile home, and a field as firefighters struggled with high winds to contain the flames.
And now the Lexington Fire Crews and Lexington Fire Department have issued a burn ban for all of Fayette County. Kristen Kennedy has more on our top story at 5:30.
The National Weather Service issued a special weather statement Friday morning, prompting Lexington fire crews to issue that burn ban. The Weather Service says a stretch of dry days combined with low relative humidity has created an enhanced fire danger for Fayette County. That danger was one of the factors fire crews took into consideration when a barn, mobile home, and a field caught fire Thursday afternoon. Crews said workers at Cooper Greenhouses on Sulphur Well Road off North Cleveland were trying to get rid of cardboard in an open burn when the fire got out of control. High winds made the flames difficult to put out. With a burn ban now in effect, fire crews are hoping to prevent a fire like Thursday's.
If you're cooking out, or even if you're discarding cigarettes or tobacco products, make sure it's properly discarded because that can spread as well in the mulch and other materials.
Right now, that ban is set to last through noon Saturday. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
And firefighters say they will reconsider the burn ban tomorrow. Ideally, they say they'd like to see some rainfall before retracting it. And even if it's not lifted tomorrow, it looks like firefighters will not have to wait long for that rain.
Rain and maybe even snow are making their way into the bluegrass. Let's check in with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey with a first look at the forecast.
Indeed, by tomorrow morning, rain and, as you mentioned, a little light snow will be filling the air across much of central and eastern Kentucky. As hard as that is to believe, with temperatures now into the 60s, you're noticing though some clouds beginning to stream on in on that western skyline. Starting to see some of those high-level clouds across the Lexington area as we speak. 63 degrees. Winds are now shifting to the northwest. That's a colder wind that will eventually blow. The big factor today and over the past couple of weeks, and we've pinpointed that, the low humidity levels, 26% with the humidity. That's why we're seeing so many issues with the outdoor burning bans that are now in effect. And I think by tomorrow those can go by the wayside, at least in the short term, because of rain coming into town. Low 60s most of central Kentucky, upper 60s across the southern and southeastern parts of the area. To our west, though, we've got rain breaking out into sections of Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri. Look at that cold air coming in behind that. Those two are going to try to get together with an area of low pressure that is skirting by to our south to throw some juice into town. Now, if you're out this evening, it's still not bad. It's a breezy one with cooler temperatures and clouds on the increase. Upper 40s showing up by the time we hit 11 o'clock this evening. Overall, a little taste of winter in the weekend forecast. A little rain and snow and a busy pattern taking shape in the 7-day forecast. That'll come your way in less than 10 minutes.
A big show of support today for a Southern Kentucky school superintendent.
Many people took to the streets today in support of Knox County Superintendent Kelly Sprinkles. The school board voted not to renew his contract. Phil Pendleton's in Barberville and tells us why so many turned out today to show support.
The turnout of support for the Knox County Superintendent winding down behind me. Well, in fact, it may not be winding down. There are still dozens, maybe a few hundred people gathered in a crowd behind me. They have marched through the streets this afternoon in support of the superintendent, whom through a 3-2 vote earlier this week, the school board voted not to renew his contract. But since then, many in this community have been very, very vocal to show their support for Kelly Sprinkles. A half hour before the 4 o'clock march through downtown, dozens showed up, many of them with signs, others drawing them up. People young and old say this school's chief has simply made a difference.
I think that he has the majority of the community support behind him.
David Varnard says the measuring stick for success anymore seems to be test scores, and he says Sprinkles has done that.
Our test scores as a district have been raised 59 percentage points to raise this school to a level that, you know, we haven't seen.
But for high school junior Andrew Johnson and Brian Smith and many of the other young people here, the reasons they say are much more personal.
No matter what we was through or whatever, like sport event or whatever it was, he was always there for us.
And the spokesperson for the school system says still no reason has been given from the board members who voted against him. Another board meeting has been scheduled for next week. In Knox County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Rally organizers say they will also have a large show of support for sprinkles at the next regular board meeting Tuesday night at 6:30 at Knox Middle School.
Police call it a murder-suicide. 2 men found dead from gunshot wounds last night. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Pike County. It happened on 143 Main Street in Pikeville. Investigators aren't yet releasing any names, but the Pike County coroner confirms at least one of the men found was a U-Pike student. In Hardin County, 2 employees at a juvenile detention center have been charged with misdemeanors after a teenage girl died from a heart condition back in January. A Hardin County grand jury indicted Reginald Wyndham and Victor Holt yesterday, each on 1 count of second-degree official misconduct, stemming from what authorities say was their failure to perform a bed check on 16-year-old Jania McMillan of Shelby County. McMillan was found unresponsive in her cell at Lincoln Village Juvenile Detention Center January 11th. An autopsy found she died in her sleep from a rare heart condition known as sudden cardiac arrhythmia. In Whitley County, a bus driver was fired after a student was found hiding on his bus. It happened Tuesday. A 4th grade Whitley Central Intermediate student hid on the bus and didn't get off when students were dropped off in the morning. District policy says the driver has to walk to the back of the bus after each run to check for any students. This bus driver failed to make that check, and the student wasn't discovered until about 1:15 that afternoon. The student was reportedly in good spirits. The driver was terminated for failure to follow safety protocols.
As the race for the GOP nomination continues, former enemies in the Republican establishment are finding themselves unlikely allies, some would say, in their quest to stop frontrunner Donald Trump from clinching the nomination. Texas Senator Ted Cruz is often viewed as an outsider of the Republican establishment, but as the field of candidates narrows to 3, many of the very people who once denounced Cruz are now endorsing him for president, saying anyone is better than frontrunner Donald Trump.
I think his campaign's built on xenophobia, race baiting, and religious bigotry. I think he'd be a disaster for our party.
On the Democratic side, the New York Times reports President Obama told Democratic donors at a private fundraiser in Texas that Bernie Sanders' campaign was coming to an end and that the party must unite around Hillary Clinton.
The New York Police Department, FBI, and Secret Service are all investigating a threatening letter sent to Eric Trump, the son of GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. Eric Trump's wife opened the letter last night at their home near Central Park and found a threatening message and suspicious white powder. Tests found the powder was not hazardous. The letter contained a threat demanding Donald Trump drop out of the presidential race or his family will be harmed. Trump also faced a second threat yesterday as the hacker group Anonymous posted what they claimed to be Trump's Social Security and cell phone numbers. Police operations continued into late last night in a Brussels neighborhood where a fugitive thought to be involved in the deadly terrorist attacks last November in Paris was captured in the same neighborhood where he grew up. 3 people were arrested. 26-year-old Salah Abdesalam was shot in the leg. Abdesalam has been on the run since the Paris attacks. He rented the black Volkswagen in Belgium that was abandoned near the concert hall where most of the victims were killed. With UK and Iowa this week, there's still a lot of cheering going on in Rupp Arena. The quarterfinals of the boys' Sweet 16 going on right now. And Lexington's Dunbar Bulldogs taking the court this afternoon. At halftime, the Dogs were down by 10, but as Caitlin Sentner tells us, Rupp was rocking the second half.
The Dunbar Bulldogs took the floor at Rupp Arena Friday with huge support from fellow classmates and fans.
They persevered through a lot of tough games, and I think they can win tonight.
There are some fans who have waited a long time to see Dunbar play in the state tournament. This is Dunbar's first appearance in 19 years.
The boys basketball team defeated Mercer County Wednesday night to make it to the quarterfinals.
Mercer County game was a great game. Both teams played really well. They certainly have, I think, the talent to do it. But you got to play the games.
The team trailed behind Bowling Green in the first half, but they came to play in the second. The student section's support never wavered.
I love being in the stadium because it's like so big and there's so many people, and like when we're cheering, it's really loud. In this setup, we get to sit more with the student section, so like you get to build off their energy, and it's just like it's a lot more inclusive.
Students and fans all proud of their Dunbar Bulldogs.
And they actually struggled last year, and I think that experience helped them coming into this year. And Coach Chalk's done a great job of getting them prepared, and that we're just proud that they're here.
In Lexington, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
And Dunbar defeating Bowling Green 57-51. They'll be back on the floor at Rupp tomorrow against Newport Central Catholic. That game is set at 6:30.